Ready to hit the road and get your Florida driver's license? Well, don't let booking a road test appointment slow you down. In this explainer, we're going to unveil the exact step-by-step process to successfully secure your road test online with total ease. Getting a license is a huge milestone, but honestly, the administrative maze can be overwhelming. Stick with us because we've got some serious insider tips coming up that could literally save you hours of waiting.
You know, navigating Florida's kind of fragmented booking system can definitely leave you scratching your head. But looking closely at the state statutes, tax collector guidelines, and official procedures, a clear roadmap actually emerges. Today, we're giving you the ultimate insider playbook, designed specifically to save you time, money, and a whole lot of frustration. Let's get right into it.
Here is how we're breaking it all down today. We'll start with road test prerequisites. Then we'll map out the online booking process. After that, we'll cover booking tips and troubleshooting, jump into test day expectations, and wrap it all up with our conclusion and disclaimers.
All right, Section 1, Road Test Prerequisites.
Okay, so before you even think about logging online to book an appointment, there are some non-negotiable milestones you've got to hit. Your journey actually starts well before the driving test. To get your mandatory learner's permit, you first have to take an age-appropriate traffic safety course. If you're 14 to 17, that's the new 6-hour DETS course. 18 or older, that'll be the 4-hour TLSAE course. Both of these are going to run you about $29.95. Step 2, you've got to pass the Class E knowledge exam. This means correctly answering at least 40 out of 50 questions to hit that 80% passing mark. And finally, Step 3, you pay a $48 fee to the state for the actual physical permit card.
Now, what's really interesting here are the specific rules for younger drivers. If you're under 18, keep in mind you absolutely cannot test until you've held your learner's permit for at least 12 full months without any traffic convictions. You're also going to need a signed and notarized parental consent form. And this brings up a massive pitfall you want to avoid. You must possess the physical plastic permit card when you go to test. Paper documents or receipts? Universally rejected. If you show up with just a piece of paper, they will literally send you home.
Moving right along to Section 2, the online booking process.
Let's demystify this notorious booking matrix. Florida doesn't just have one big, simple website for everyone. It's kind of like a giant puzzle. You have to figure out which digital framework applies to where you physically live. For folks in Broward, Volusia, and Miami-Dade counties, you get to use the state's centralized OASIS portal. Super easy. But for pretty much everyone else, the other 67 local counties across Florida, you're going to have to navigate your specific local tax collector's website to book. So step 1 is literally just knowing whose website to look for.
And that local system leads us to a really critical warning. Strict residency gatekeeping is in full effect. You might be thinking, hey, my county is totally booked up. I'll just drive one county over to take my test. Actually, scratch that. Counties like Hillsborough, Orange, Palm Beach, and Sarasota actively enforce residency rules. You can't just book an appointment anywhere to skip the line. If you try to test in these restricted counties without proof of a local address, it results in an immediate cancellation the second you arrive. Always verify those local rules first.
Section 3, Booking Tips and Troubleshooting.
Honestly, securing a time slot can sometimes feel like winning the lottery, but a few strategic moves can make the system work for you. Timing is absolutely everything. To avoid heavy digital congestion, try to book your test midweek, think Tuesdays through Thursdays. You also want to aim for the middle of the month. Strictly avoid the first and last weeks of the month, and steer clear of Mondays and Fridays when traffic totally peaks. Oh, and do yourself a favor. Skip the daily lunch rush between 11:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. The service centers are just way too congested then.
But what happens if your local tax collector has 0 slots available for months? Don't panic, you have a solid backup option. You can utilize state-authorized private third-party testers. These are private businesses authorized to administer the exact same state exam. They usually cost somewhere between $50 and $89 for immediate road test scheduling. It's a real game changer if you're in a rush and don't mind paying a little extra for the convenience. If you do decide to go the private route, just a heads up on a pretty major catch. Florida law, specifically Statute 322.563, allows the state to randomly select you for a mandatory retest with 0 prior notice when you go to finalize your license at the DMV. So you still have to know your stuff. You can't just pay a private company and forget how to parallel park, because the state might tap you on the shoulder and ask you to prove your skills all over again on the spot.
Which brings us to Section 4, Test Day Expectations.
Okay, you've booked your slot and you're ready for the final boss, but there are a few massive gotchas that can get you turned away before you even put the car in drive. The paperwork audit on test day is incredibly strict. You need that valid plastic Florida learner's permit, valid vehicle registration, current Florida insurance, and if you're under 18, that notarized parental consent form. Arriving without this exact combination is an immediate roadblock that will completely cancel your test. For sure, get a folder and organize the whole shebang the night before.
Now, this next one might sound kind of obvious, but you'd be shocked how often it happens. Here is an absolutely critical rule. You cannot drive yourself to the test. If you hold only a learner's permit, you are legally barred from driving alone to your testing appointment. You must have a licensed driver who is at least 21 years old in the front passenger seat. If you drive yourself there alone, your test is instantly canceled, and law enforcement might even hand you a citation right there in the parking lot.
Before your actual 8 to 15-minute test even begins, the examiner is going to perform a strict safety audit on your vehicle. They aren't just checking your driving, they're checking your car. They're looking for a working horn, functioning turn signals, fully operable doors that open from the inside and outside, working wipers, and safe tires that aren't bald. Oh, and your air conditioning? It has to work. Tests are conducted with the windows rolled down to allow fresh air, but Florida heat is absolutely no joke, so examiners mandate operable climate control for everyone's safety.
Finally, Section 5, Conclusion and Disclaimers.
By understanding the fragmented booking systems, avoiding common pitfalls, and prepping your vehicle, you are now fully equipped to conquer this process. Just remember, the state of Florida loves to update its rules. County-specific guidelines, testing regulations, and administrative fees can and definitely do change over time. So always verify the absolute latest requirements directly on the official FLHSMV website before making your appointment.
Getting your license is so much about mastering the bureaucracy before you ever even touch a steering wheel. But now that you have the ultimate playbook to secure that road test online like a total pro, you're ready to go. So we love to know, once you clear these hurdles, where will your new license take you first? Drop your dream road trip in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer. Stay safe out there, and we will catch you next time.